Bum 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 ba bum ba dum bum 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 ba dum bum ba dum bum 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 ba dum ba dum ba 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 dum ba dum ba 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 ba. Come on, come on, come on, come on, now touch me, babe. Shaka-ka-ka, can't you see that I am not afraid? Shaka-ka-ka, Lawrence is good at piano. He shall be rocking in my show. Shaka-ka-ka. And since I am a student of Mr. Schneebly, it's about time I start this review by saying the pledge to the band. So, I pledge allegiance to the band of Mr. Schneebly, and will not fight him for creative control, and will defer to him in all issues related to the musical direction of the band. Let's get rockin'! Today's movie review will be really, really special because this is a movie I really love and it always cheers me up whenever I feel down or just really stressed with my life. And since I am a student, just like a lot of other people around here, whether you're college, high school, middle school, I just want to say that you're not alone in being nervous on your first day of school because I understand how tough a school year can be, and this movie review for me, I mean, for not just for me, but for everyone, is to like prep everyone up that saying that you're awesome, and I dedicate this movie for everybody who is struggling with your first day of school because I've been there before, and trust me, school can be a little tough, but to cheer you all up, I just want to review one of my favorite movies that I really love, that really cheers me up about school, The School of Rock. The School of Rock is a 2003 musical comedy directed by Richard Linklater and stars Jack Black, Joan Cusack, Richard White, Sarah Silverman, and a lot of child actors acting as a school kid. So this movie is about a guy named Dewey Finn. He is a guy who is a complete rock star, but eventually he gets kicked out by his band. But later, he eventually decides to become a substitute teacher and decides to teach kids about rock and roll. And little did he know that these kids are actually very talented in music, so he decides to make a new rock band with them. So he assigns kids to musical instruments related to the rock band, like guitar, bass, electric guitar, drums, and once he builds a band, he actually begins to build a very strong connection and relationship with the kids. And he even preps them up about how to deal with the real world and how to be rock stars. And he teaches them the true definition of rock and roll and how it's all about the music. It's all about sticking it to the man. And that is one of the most important messages and motif about this movie. Not just about rock and roll, but just being yourself and be awesome who you are. And as Dewey Finn becomes a substitute teacher, he actually uses a fake name known as Mr. Schneebly. And actually Mr. Schneebly is his roommate who was the original substitute teacher. But the funny thing is that Dewey Finn needed to pay off his rent, so he decides to use the name of Mr. Schneebly in order to get the attention. And now you got yourself an incredibly funny film that's not just funny, but also has a great message for kids and creativity and how youth can always be creative no matter what in terms of music, poetry, literature, awesomeness, geekiness, and there you got it. The School of Rock is a movie that's very, very special, and it has great humor, wonderful storytelling, humorous writing, wonderful performances, and honestly, that's all I have to say about this movie. This review won't necessarily be like an analytical review because this is a movie that I would like to give a break. So with movies that I usually review, they tend to, have some type of thing where you can analyze it. But with The School of Rock, you can analyze it in terms of its message. And this movie has a really incredible message and a very important message to kids out there who are willing to be creative or just kids who are struggling with themselves. And this movie really uplifts kids, and that all goes to the performances, which I will explain. The performances in this movie are just awesome. They're really fun to watch, and they really entertain me throughout the entire runtime. But my favorite actors in this movie are the child actors and Jack Black. And I have to say, Jack Black has to be one of the funniest comedians I have ever seen. And in this movie, he really does shine as Mr. Schneebly. And whenever you see him, you really do buy him as a substitute teacher and as a rock star. And one of my favorite things about this movie is how Jack Black is very uplifting to the kids in the school. And the kids in the school are portrayed as people or kids that need something to let the world know them for. So he's telling them that they're very special because they have all these type of gifts of music and creativity, and he's choosing to uplift them. And to me, I really love that about this film. this movie really does uplift kids who are struggling with whatever they're having, or they just want to reach out to people and show them their talents, and that's what this movie does. And Jack Black is that figure that's saying that, okay, kids, when you have this talent, you can use it in order to entertain people and to stick to the music, because rock and roll can really connect people, and how it can also, just move people with the way you play your songs and you play your instruments. And I also really love the connection that he has with them and the relationship. And once they build their chemistry in the classroom, you really do feel it. And once they start laughing, you can tell that these kids had a great time filming this film, especially Jack Black, especially when he starts playing with his guitar, random songs, and to just make the kids, feel like that they got a figure in life. And that's honestly the best thing I love about the School of Rock. Jack Black in this movie is also portrayed as a father figure type to the kids, and this is what I consider just intelligent writing in a humorous comedy. So, in the movie, Jack Black is first of all, just a rock star who only cares about music, but once he gets to become the substitute teacher, he eventually develops that strong relationship and chemistry with them, and you can really feel it, just like as I previously stated. And another thing that makes Jack Black more of a father figure is just the way that they wrote Mr. Schneebly or Dewey Finn, and the way that they've developed his character. And there were times in the movie where Jack Black had to watch out for the kids, and he was very cautious about where they went, and he was very protective of them, especially when they went out. And that's what I consider just incredibly amazing about how they maneuvered a character like Jack Black. And we all know he's really funny, but whenever he's really watching out for the kids, you really feel for them, and you even feel for Dewey Finn, aka Mr. Schneebly, and the way how he watched out for them. This movie also has a great choice of songs. This movie mostly has a compilation score of classic rock songs like the Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix, and once they are used in the movie, they really work in between scene after scene, including montages. And this movie really does put the rock and roll mood into this film, and you can really see it by the way of how the cinematography shows, the people rocking out, especially with how the soundtrack just reaches out and like correlates with the actions of the film. And I thought it was really cool. But my favorite thing about this movie are the original songs as well included to the soundtrack. And my favorite song is the final song at the end, which is Zach's song, or Take Me to School on Time. And I think it's a really amazing song. It's very iconic, and it's still a song that's very popular to sing, especially with all of the chords and then the vocals and the guitar solos by Jack Black and the kids. And that's what I find really, really cool about the School of Rock. This movie may have a little bit of tiny flaws, but these are the type of flaws that are pretty normal and common in most comedies. And this movie review isn't really dedicated to like analyzing like this part could have been better, or I wish this could have been better, as this movie has way more pros than cons. And basically, as I said, this message is incredibly amazing that the School of Rock has, and the message is that anybody is welcome to the band in school. And no matter where you are in school, there is a type of band that can probably play your music, or you can be the musician that has his or her own talent to create the words of the way you feel through music. And that's very, very inspirational to everybody out there, not just students, but just anybody who's willing to be creative. And I really love how this movie chose a school, because usually, children in school can have a hard time believing in themselves. But once you start watching this movie, you realize that there's always going to be that figure that will uplift you. And there's that figure that's going to be motivating you to do what you can do. And even though the obstacles in life can be a bit challenging, you can always build your strength if you just believe, and if you just, consider yourself very special and more unique. And that's something I really appreciate about this film. It makes people feel as if there's somebody in this world. And whenever you join the band, even though you're not in the band, does not mean that you're not in the band, but you're still a part of it. And because whenever you're contributing something small, you're at least contributing to something very special. It's hard to believe that this movie came out in the year 2003, just 15 years ago, and making this movie review, I guess, is perfect because it's also celebrating the 15th anniversary of The School of Rock, but The School of Rock is a movie that still keeps up till this day due to its messages that I stated, and it's still very relevant to kids these days, and the biggest purpose of why I made this movie review is to really uplift students, just like the way how Jack Black uplifted the students in The School of Rock. And basically, I just wanted to really make this video because I really want to cheer all those kids up, or just anybody who's just feeling so stressed about school right now, or is just worried about how their school year will go. So as I said, that for anybody who is a student and who's struggling, or who's just really nervous about how will the school year turn, is that, like what I said, you rock no matter what. You're very special for who you are, and I believe that you have a very special talent that is welcome to this world. And even if the obstacles may be tough, I'm here to motivate you that you are special, like what I said, and you got this. And basically, when you go on this journey, you're building a character arc, and you're getting yourself even more strength, and you're becoming a much stronger person. And I wish great luck to all the students out there. And of course, School of Rock gets an 8 out of 10 in terms of like movie grading, but that's how I really wanted to end this review. And I will conclude this review by singing a little song. A rock song. Baby, we was making straight A's, and we were stuck in the dumb days. Don't take much to memorize your lies. I feel like I've been hypnotized. And then the magic man, he come to town. Hoo-wee! He done and spun my head around. He says recess in the session. 2 and 2 make 5. And now, baby, now I'm alive. Oh, yeah! Now I'm alive. And if you wanna be the teacher's pet, well, baby, you just better forget it. Rock on no reason, rock on no rhyme. You better get me to school on time. Oh, yeah!